Hello, I'm Alex and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I handprint and sew project bags in the UK, which is where I'm filming today. I'm just outside London and I'm going to talk to you about what I've been sewing and knitting this month. So I've got a couple of finished things to show you actually. I think the first thing I'll mention is my Pebble Beach shawl, which is something I've had on the needles for ages and it's finally finished. So I'm really pleased to be able to show this one off. I knit this using Woolly Mammoth Fibre Co. It's her BFL Masham base and it's a really lovely like woolly wool, but as you can see, since blocking it, it's got quite a nice amount of drape, but it still has that sort of structure that I think it looks really nice with this simple lace pattern, because it kind of gives it that little bit of structure that it holds the shape really nicely. And you can probably see it's got a nice picot edge. And the Pebble Beach shawl is by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. If you're new and you haven't seen me talk about this before, and it's actually a pattern that I got. It was a good few years ago now. They had a festival called Unravel in Brighton, and yeah, I got this pattern, was in the programme, so it's something I've had for a long time, and I've actually knit one in Kettle Yarn Co. That was the yarn used at the show for the sample, and that was a really lovely shawl. So I've actually knit this twice, and I kind of wanted this. It's like I'll pop it on for you. It's like a very small sort of neckerchief style. You can kind of get an idea of the size. It's not a super big shawl, and that's exactly what I wanted. So I wanted something just to kind of keep my neck a bit warm. You know when you have a sweater and it doesn't quite come up that high on the neck, I kind of find I get a little bit chilly there. So I kind of like to have these little sort of shawls just for that, just to throw on just around the house really. And actually I'll quite often, it probably doesn't show off the shawl as well, but I'll usually wear mine kind of like actually really tied up and tie it around my neck. So, but I won't do that today and ruin my lovely blocked shawl, because it's looking really nice. It's always so nice when it's fresh off the blocking mats, and you can see it holds the shape really nicely in this beautiful crescent shape. So yeah, I think I've told you all about that. But very pleased to have that off, because I don't know why, but it seemed to take me a really long time. I think it's a really nice pattern to follow. Helen does this sort of percentage system, whereas you go through and check off each line. It tells you how many percentage you've got through the shawl, and gives you like the stitch counts and everything. So it's a really well written pattern, and it's quite a simple pattern to follow. So it's the kind of thing that I've always had a little bit on the back burner, so it's the kind of project that I'd pick up when I was in between things, or if I just wanted something quite relaxing to knit on. So yeah, that's really good. And one thing I should say about this is this yarn is so light. It's a fingering weight, this BFL Masham. It just feels like a cloud. Really, really lovely blend, and I'm lovely, really happy with how that turned out. So I've shown you my shawl, and the other thing I've got is a pair of socks. And I can't remember where I was with it. I think I might have finished one of these when I filmed last. But these are the Feather in the Nest socks by Danielle George of Little Bobbins Knits. And I knit these in the Wool Barn. What is it? I think it's her twist sock, this one, in the Nougat colourway. I hope that it's not getting too blown out. It's really sunny here today. This is one of the reasons actually why I'm filming today, because we've had awful weather ever since sort of, I don't know, probably for about a week. We've had rain like on and off. It's been really, really dark, way too dark for filming, and then the sun is shining. We had a storm last night, so I think maybe that's why it kind of broke the weather, but super bright in here. So I'm hoping you get a good representation of the colour there. It looks good on my screen, but you can see it's got this little kind of almost like little twig texture pattern. I'm not sure if I said this colourway is called Nougat, and I really don't know if it'll pick it up on the camera, but it's such a beautiful, subtle speckled yarn. This is like my favourite kind of, if I'm going to use like speckle, this is what I like, where it's got a sort of cream base, and then it's got like little flecks of brown and yellow, like a little bit of gold. It's just, yeah, this is really, really special, I think. And I've knit these quite short, so I've got enough left to knit another pair of socks out of these. So I'm going to do, I probably won't do the same pattern, I'm going to do a different pattern with that, with my leftovers. But I have already planned to knit another pair of those. So I've got, I'll show you, actually this is in one of my autumn bags. I should show you that because these are new to the shop, back for autumn. And they've got this lovely, this is another wool barn yarn, but it's quite an old colourway. I don't know if she still does this, but yeah, I hope that's showing nice. It's really hard to capture red, but it's literally like the perfect autumn rusty, it looks like an autumn leaf, it's that kind of red. And I think all I've got is a toe, so there's not very much to show you, but I did just want to show you that lovely yarn because I've been saving this for quite a long time and I wanted to cast it on as soon as it got to autumn. So 1st of October I cast that on and I popped that in my little autumn bag. So I've got, I haven't started the pattern, but I'm thinking that I'm going to do another feather in the nest sock. I don't know why, but I seem to like to do that. I almost like make little sets with the socks. Once I've got a pattern that I enjoy knitting, I kind of do them a few times. You'll know I did that with the Cyril socks. I knit those a couple of times. Actually, I might even do Cyril socks with this, with the Nougat colourway. These actually go really nicely with that other kind of rusty brown. It gives it these more of an autumn feel. But yeah, I really, really like those. So I've got those two things, and the only other knitting thing I've got to show you is, it's in another one of my autumn bags. I don't know if it's weird to get really excited about using your own bags, but I love it when I get to change them over. So this is like a seasonal collection that I do. If you're new here, you might not know that I've done each season. I've got a different print that you can see this one's got gold on it, and yeah, I just get really excited when I swap my bags over with the seasons. So inside here, shouldn't be chatting so much about the bags, you want to see what's inside, don't you? I've got the Rift tee, and let me show you because that's the front, because you'll see it's slightly longer at the back than the front. And the Rift tee, this is a pattern by Jacqueline Shellac, I think is how you say her name, and I'm knitting this out of the fibre company Luma. This colour's actually picking up quite well. Maybe it's because it's so sunny today that I'm getting quite a good colour representation. It's called Sherry and it's the fibre company Luma. And I've mentioned before that I work with the fibre company part-time. I do a few hours for them each week, and one of the perks of that is that I get to use their lovely yarn. And yeah, Luma's a really interesting blend actually. I'll tell you what it is. It's 50% wool, 25% cotton, 15% linen and 10% silk. So it's a really good blend, and I've actually used this, you might remember it from my Lucinda sweater, which is the V-neck sweater that I did, and I did an Elizabeth Doherty sweater, I think that's called Donna, where it's got a textured pattern. You if you pop over to my Ravelry, you'll see all the sweaters and projects that I've made. Actually, while I'm talking about project notes, if you want to know anything that I'm talking about today, I'll put all the links in the show notes, which will be over on my blog. There'll be a link just below this video, and yeah, I'll put a link to all the yarns and the fabrics and patterns and everything. And if you want to go the extra step and you actually want to get those to your email, I also have a show notes email list. So there'll be a link below this video as well, and every time a video goes live, you get a notification. I send you an email and it has all the show notes right there in your email. So yeah, lots of you like to do that. I get people every time signing up for that. So yeah, sign up below here and pop over to the blog if you want to check out any of these things I'm talking about. But there's not much to show with this at the moment. You can see I've done this twisted rib, and yeah, it's got this sort of split hem detail. Oh, actually, yeah, I should show you that. It carries the rib detail up the side. And because it's got this like cotton linen in it, I think that's what helps. The stitch definition is so good in this yarn. It's really nice. And also, I should say that it's really soft. I haven't knit with a lot of linens or cottons, but it's not, it doesn't feel hard in your hands. It's not difficult to knit. It just feels like a normal wool, but it definitely has like a slightly lighter kind of it's not such a woolly feel. It does have that kind of lightness of more of a summer garment, like a cotton. But I like the fabric that I've got. I'll say that I have actually gone down, I think it may have asked for 5mm needles, and I've actually gone down to 4. When I swatched, I just liked the fabric of this better. It was sort of more open. It was kind of a bit more of an open weave when it was on the 5, and I preferred it on the 4. So I was able to just do a little bit of maths and work out which size to go for. And yeah, it worked out. I think it's coming out along nicely. And all I've got to do is lots and lots of stockinette. So hopefully I'll have a bit more of that to show you next time. So I'll pop that back. And yeah, that's what I've been knitting on. So apart from that, I don't actually have a lot of projects to show you, but I have got a little bit of sewing plans. So I think I'll start with this. Actually, I've got a picture, so I will show you. This is the Berlin jacket, and it's a Tessuti pattern, and this is one of the this sort of dream sewing things that I've got at the moment. And I've ordered some swatches, and this is a boiled wool, so I'm using, this is from Active Fabrics, and I think this is looking a little bit bright on the camera. Actually, that's probably fairly accurate. This is like a sort of burnt orange colour and a brown and a burgundy, and I'm really torn. I can't decide whether to go for the sort of orange, which would be a really nice pop of colour for the sort of winter time, or to play it safe and go with the brown, which I think this actual, it's got like a nice sort of texture to it, and I do actually like the brown for, I kind of feel like it would go with a lot of things. It maybe be a bit more of a like chic option, but this is a really fun colour. So I don't know, you'll probably have to see next time. I'll just have to bite the bullet, and I'm going to have to pick one of them. I'll probably at some point, maybe I'll end up doing both. I already have it in a navy, and I sewed that up a couple of years ago. So I'll put a link in the show notes. I have got a picture that I took on my Instagram long time ago with that coat, and it's such a good pattern. I love it. It's so simple. If you are new to making coats and you want to have a go at doing a coat, I would really recommend that as a good starting place. The boiled wool is really easy to work with, and you don't need to finish any of your seams. It's not lined. It's got sort of turn back cuffs, patch pockets, and yeah, it's that kind of, I think you'd maybe call it like a duster style coat. But yeah, I think it's a great beginner friendly coat pattern. And as with like all the Tessuti patterns, they have a good, I think they're like quite stylish. They're quite like current in terms of what's in fashion at the time. So yeah, I would recommend that pattern, and that's what I'm planning to do. So next time you'll know which I picked, because hopefully I'll have had that sewn up by then, because my navy coat is looking a bit tired. It's got a bit bobbly, and yeah, it just needs replacing now, I think. So that's what I'm going to do with that. And I've got another, I've got some more fabric here, which is a really, it's so hard to tell with jersey on camera or when you're buying stuff online, but this is such a luxurious feeling jersey, and it's still got like some body to it. So some of the really soft silky jerseys, they're really light and almost like too fine. They're like very, very drapey, but this will hold its shape if you're sewing like a t-shirt or something, but it just has such a nice feel. I wish I knew what the composition was so I could look at other fabrics when I'm looking up online to sort of see what it was made, but I don't know. I picked this up at Mizzen Textiles, which is on Berwick Street in London. If you know where Liberties is, it's just a couple of minutes walk from there. And yeah, I've used this to sew a Nico top, and that's what I'm planning on doing with this, because I used, for my Nico top last time, I used like a dark green, which you might have seen. And I'll show you, there's a picture of the Nico top. It's actually a top and a dress pattern, but yeah, I'm going to do this with like the little roll neck, and I thought it'd be really nice in this. Again, I'm not sure how well it's picking up on the camera, but it's kind of a little bit of a sort of really warm browny orange colour that I think will be really nice. I think it's coming up a little bit brighter. It's maybe got a little bit more brown in than what you're seeing on the camera, But oh, it's really, really nice, and it will feel lovely sort of as the temperatures drop and you just want something that's cozy, but it's nice that it's quite thin, so it's not like a chunky knit. So I've got that, and the last thing that I've got some fabric for is I've got this. You can see there's a bit of a theme going on, isn't there? I've got like oranges and reds. I've got my rift in the red. I'm doing like my brownie red socks. I don't know what's going on. Before I was going through my like green kit, wasn't I, where I had all these like olivey greens. But yeah, I've got this fabric from Mizzen Textiles, which I think is a viscose. And I'm going to do another one of these tops. This is the Adelia. It's actually a Adelia dress by the Hemming. I'll stand up so you can see. I think I've shown you this before, but I hacked it into a top, which they do have a tutorial over on their blog showing you how to change it into a top. And the only other modification was I have raised the neckline slightly, so I think I maybe took 1 inch or maybe 2 inches out of the neckline just so it wasn't super low. But yeah, that's what I'm planning. So I'm going to do another one of these in this kind of really nice red colour, which I think will look nice for jeans for fall as well, or for the autumn. And yeah, so that's what I've got planned. Got some exciting things, and I've talked about my mood boards before on here, so I'm feeling like it's the kind of time when I want to collect all my ideas of what I have for the kind of things I want to be making and wearing over the autumn and the winter. I need to put together another one of my mood boards, so maybe I'll do that this month and show you next time. So I hope you enjoyed catching up with all those bits. When this video goes live, I will have some of these bags in the shop. I think this will go live either on Friday or Saturday morning. It will either be Friday night or Saturday morning. It depends. My internet is so slow, so it depends how quickly I can get it up. It literally takes hours and hours. Like I've uploaded like overnight. It's taken so long. But when the video goes live, these will be in the shop. I'll have my little sock sacks and little DPN cozies as well. These just have my little logo on the back. Yeah, so these will all be in the shop as well. I'll make sure that I put the listings up at the same time the video goes live, so hopefully you'll be able to catch them if you've been waiting for them. And yeah, I'm going to go away, have some more of my cup of tea. I've got a nice green tea. Didn't show you my mug today, did I? But this is a Julia Smith mug. So I've got a nice green tea, and it actually still feels warm. I must have been chatting quite quickly today. Sometimes by the time I finish filming, my tea's stone cold. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, links below will be for the shop and for the blog, so you can get all the show notes. And yeah, do say hi. And I love it when you chat to me in the comments and sort of talk about the projects I'm working on, or you'll tell me what you're sewing or making. So yeah, leave me a comment and I'll try and get back to everybody. And I should probably tell you to like and subscribe, which is something I never say, and I know that all the proper YouTubers do, so that's something that you can do as well if you'd like. And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.